Did the JDM car market bubble pop? That's the question I want to talk about in this video. Stick around to the end of the video to find out what I have to say. Welcome back, everybody, to My Town Films. Today, we are talking about the JDM car market again. Why are we talking about this again? You're wondering. Great question, because a lot is going on here in Japan. A lot is going back on. A lot is going on back home in America. And I just need to talk about it. I need to tell you guys what's going on, keep you guys informed, because I know some of you out there want to buy a JDM car from Japan. So I want to keep you in the know with everything that's going on. So stay tuned. So point number one I want to make. Cars are not selling here in Japan on the dealer side of things and the auction side. Now, the cars that are selling through auction right now, a large majority of them have a lot of issues that I did not realize. And a lot of them are selling at outrageous prices for the condition. I'll put up some examples for you guys of what I'm talking about here on the auction so you guys can see for yourself what cars are selling for, and I will put up the conversion rate for US dollars and the yen so you guys can kind of understand how much these cars are actually selling for. It's ridiculous. Many people are just not buying these cars, and we all know why, because the prices are completely elevated, and it's all because of the pandemic and because of the 25-year rule. As you guys all know, when America gets JDM cars, we have to wait 25 years to import them, unfortunately, because our government pretty much sucks. That's kind of what happens, and now that all of these cars are pretty much almost all legal, people just aren't buying these cars anymore because, the pandemic kind of screwed everything up, and everybody who pretty much bought a car, or the price became just too high to the point where they can't afford the car anymore. So that's kind of what's going on right now. So the second point I wanted to make is that there's been a spike in prices, and now that the pandemic is kind of controlled, it just, like I said, it seems to be out of reach for most of the demand. And, with that said, you have all of these cars that are overpriced that people are not paying for. And so these cars just sit. They're just sitting. And I just don't understand why they don't just lower the prices more. I mean, I think personally, I think the bubble popped. I don't think these prices are going to hit rock bottom again ever. I don't see that happening because there is a large demand for JDM cars, especially from the 90s. And if the prices were to go back down to what they were before, they would all just be, bought out. And obviously that's not what everybody wants. They want to sell for the highest price they can because they know it's desirable, right? That's just how business works. The third point I wanted to make is that prices aren't increasing and demand seems to be dropping. Like, are the prices too high? What do you guys think? What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think the price for many of these JDM cars are just too high? The RX-7, the R33, even the base models. Even the base models are elevated in price. For example, look at an Integra GSR. An Integra GSR. It's just the GSR, right? It's going for, look how much it's going for. Insane, right? Who would pay that much money for a GSR? You? Would you pay that much money? No. Would I? Definitely not. It's just stupid, right? You could easily just buy a shell, buy a K-swap if you're in America. K-swap, Integra chassis or Civic chassis, boom, done, right? Easy. When I see all of these inflated prices for these cars, it hurts. It hurts so much because I came here with the intent to buy a car and modify it, right? And for the longest time, I've been following the trends with the JDM car market, and the fact that I finally get here and all the prices are just completely destroyed and just ruined kind of hurts a little bit. But, the demand is just not there anymore. Like I even said a few months ago, I'm not paying 20 grand for an Integra Type R. Not doing it. It's just stupid, right? Because I'm not going to have any money to do anything else, right? 20 grand is a lot of money on a car. That's almost a brand new car. So I think people are starting to realize how much these cars are getting, and they're just, not willing to pay X amount of dollars for, X, Y, and Z because it just doesn't make sense, right? It's either you buy your dream car and pay a crap ton of money for it, or you don't get anything because everything is just too much money. And the people that even have money, like, are you like, what are you guys doing? Like, why aren't you buying the cars that you want? Is it because they're just not clean enough? Like, I see a lot of these cars that are selling for so much money, especially through auction, and they have problems, they have issues, they have dents on them. There's all these issues, but yet people are still paying for these cars sometimes, especially through the auction. On the dealer websites, I really don't see much movement, but through the auctions, I usually see a lot much. I usually see much more movement, but these cars have much more issues. So I really don't understand. Now, this isn't a point that I want to make, but it is just a bit of a tip that I want to tell all you guys before moving forward with the video, and that is now would be a great time to buy a JDM car. And I know many people watching my videos are in the market to buy your import JDM dream car. So here in Japan, like I said before in a previous video, I'll put an annotation thing up in the top right. Go ahead and click that if you want to see that video on why you should buy your JDM car now. But the yen is really weak right now. The US economy is becoming extremely inflated. I'm sure you guys are all feeling this. I've been hearing the news, I've been seeing many things, and yeah, here in Japan, everything's still pretty much stagnant. Not much has changed. However, the yen has gotten severely weak, and it makes cars and everything here pretty much a 30% discount to all US residents, because the US dollar is extremely strong compared to the yen right now. If you want a piece of advice, you might want to look into buying a car. Like right now here in Japan, a $20,000 car only costs about maybe $13,000. That's $7,000 of savings. It's not that bad. Sure, the price of the car is still elevated to the point where it's just like, I really don't want that. But I think that's about as close as you're going to get to the pre-pandemic prices. So you might want to just maybe make a decision. The next point I want to make is that we've even seen Bring a Trailer and the prices for some of these cars and how they've started to stagnate or even decline. For example, Integra Type Rs. Look how much my Integra Type R sold for. My Integra Type R sold for $25,250, right? Now, look at the trend of all of the other JDM Integra Type Rs that had much lower mileage, that were much cleaner than mine. Look at how much it kind of just stagnated, or it just started to decline slowly, right? People aren't paying this much money for these cars anymore. There's all of these cars here. There's an abundance of cars that are overpriced. Nobody's paying for them, so it's only right for the prices to go down now. And I think that's what we're starting to see, because all of the newer cars that I'm seeing listed on the Japanese websites here are slowly starting to creep down just a little bit. It's not like a giant plunge down to the rock bottom prices, but you can start to slowly follow the trend if you're always on these websites every day like I am. So that's where I'm pretty much going to just cut the video today. If you guys are actually in the market for a JDM car, you might want to buy it soon. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on Monday.